Um, so with this video, it's pretty deep and personal and actually kind of crazy. Um, because you've read the title correctly. I, in fact, do have a sex addiction. I cope with sex addiction. I'm going to explain my struggle with stuff like this. I mean, most men struggle with sexual desire, but as I've stated in previous videos, at what point does it get out of hand? Well, I'm about to share my experience with you. So around, I want to say about May or April of 2023, I moved out my parents' house and I moved in with some roommates. It was pretty nice. It was pretty chill, but I also felt like I was also struck with this newfound freedom. Um, but at the same time, um, I felt like because I was going through so much mentally, I also feel like needed something to fill this void in my heart. At the time, I was taking about maybe 10 credits, 10 college credits, or credit hours over the summer. And it was intense. I was working. I feel like I wasn't really having too much of a social life, and I felt like I was also incredibly lonely. Um, especially during this time period, I wasn't really speaking. I wasn't on speaking terms with my mom, and or well, with most of my family members, but my mom, it was really hard for me. Um, and I felt like I was not having a very smooth transition into adulthood. I guess you could say throughout most of my life, I've been kind of like a good boy per se, but yeah, but I've also put up with a lot of rejection and just feeling terrible about myself. And after a while, I started to see hooking up as an outlet to relieve stress and kind of fill that void. And it's actually pretty sad because now that I'm a little bit older now, I can definitively say that having hoes is not a flex at all. Do you want to know what having hoes is? Having hoes is just a laundry list of people that don't care about you. They could give two fucks about you, actually. In fact, having hoes is just a gateway into a world of pain, a world of strife, and a world of loneliness. And I would not recommend it. It's such a risky lifestyle, and it invites so many possibilities that could completely change your life. Fortunately, I was able to escape any life-changing diseases, but it didn't change the fact that I was in a lot of abusive situations. There will be times where I would hook up with other people, but the people that I hook up with, they would they would be rather forceful. And to be honest, the concept of having hoes is, in layman's terms, a laundry list of people that don't care about you and see you as nothing less than just an object. There's no value in it. It doesn't really get you, I guess, what you get that dopamine shot, and at the end, is it really worth it? I can't say that for you. I'm only speaking by myself on my experience, but I can definitively say that it's not something that I'll recommend. Because once I opened up that can of worms, I felt like I would do, and it was something that I felt like I craved constantly. Like it was some sort of attention type of I was always crave 3, 2. I was always craving. I was always craving the attention. I was always craving the warmth or the thrill of just fucking someone new. And I after a while, it kind of got so bad that I mean, no one knows this. I never told anyone this, but there would be times where I would miss work. I would miss work to go hook up with someone, or there will be times where I've done it in public or I've done it in a parking lot or something. It really dangerous, crazy times, risky times, and looking back on it, it wasn't worth it. It was not worth my time. It was not worth my energy. And despite all of this, I wouldn't have it any other way because I needed that experience for me to come to terms with the fact that I lacked self-love. I did hit rock bottom at some point when I felt like I was like missing all types of like schoolwork, and I just I wasn't caring about much of my long-term goals anymore because I was just given to my cravings. And even though like it's been almost a year since I've stopped having casual sex, I I still am not comfortable enough to say that I don't have a sex addiction because as crazy as it may sound, like every day is a struggle. It really does feel like I'm taking everything day by day. I do have those urges. I do have those thoughts, but I also know that these things are temporary and these things will pass. And I have much more things, much more productive things I can do in my life. At the end, like when I came to terms that I didn't really love myself, I noticed I was able to look back and see that how everything that I was doing was completely hurting myself. Like having sex without a condom, like we all know, I feel like everyone already knows. Condoms is so much deeper than getting pregnant. It's STD prevention, HIV prevention. Like it's there's a lot of reasons why people should be using protection, especially if you're not in a committed relationship or you're not on PrEP or any of those medications that can prevent those types of mishaps. Um, but me, like at that time, like I didn't care. I didn't care, and I put myself in danger. Had I had the proper self love for myself, if I cared about myself enough, I would have never put myself in those situations to be exposed to all of that. You see, like when you love yourself, it shows. People can tell when you respect yourself. But at that time, I did not respect myself. I did not see that I deserved better. I probably could have honestly gotten HIV, gotten AIDS, and died right then, and I wouldn't give a shit because I just felt like I really hated myself and I really deserved it. And um and I felt like a lot of my risky behavior did come from deep down inside that I was so incredibly lonely and I didn't really know what to do with myself. But I'm very grateful that I am now on the other side of it and that I can see that the life is so beautiful. Life is so beautiful and life is so short. Um, and, like on Earth we're briefly gorgeous, and I don't want to waste it with meaningless hookups and doing things to harm my physical, sexual, spiritual well-being. And surprisingly, I don't have any regrets because without these experiences, how would we ever learn and grow? That's kind of what it is. And, not to end the video in a somber way, but um, every day I struggle. Every day I struggle. Every day I have to make the conscious decision that I'm going to focus on myself and I'm going to continue to be more disciplined and stick to my long-term goals. And yeah, and it's not easy, but when you love yourself and you care about yourself, the things that are hard but are good for you will be something that is absolutely non-negotiable, and I wouldn't have it any other way. That being said, take care.